What's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to continue working on the S54. I'm going to continue removing a bunch of parts. I'm going to remove the clutch, remove any other hoses that are cut off, and then I'm going to probably drop the oil pan and inspect the rod bearings, see the condition of them, and to see if I'm going to change them. Most likely I'm going to change them, and I'm just going to try to get as much done as I possibly can today, so stay tuned, motherfuckers. Alright, so first I'm going to remove the pressure plate, which is held on by these 6mm Allen bolts, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 of them, so I'm going to start by removing that. Okay, so at first I removed the pressure plate, and here's the clutch wheel. It actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, this was an SMG motor, so they probably shouldn't look too bad anyway. As you, even if you're a bad driver, you probably won't burn the clutch, but it looks like it was possibly been changed. But also, it looks like it's been sitting for a long time, because you can see there's a lot of built-up rust and stuff on it. Same thing with the dual mass flywheel. So I don't know, we'll see, but it looks like this engine's been sitting for a while. One more thing I'd like to show you guys is how shitty the dual mass flywheels are. As you can see, look how much play there is in the dual mass flywheel. I'm trying to rotate the flywheel, and half of it spins, the other half that's attached to the motor stays. So that's the garbage of the dual mass flywheel. Next thing I'm going to remove is all of these flywheel bolts, and I'm going to pop the flywheel off. Okay, so got the flywheel bolts removed. Now I'm going to pry the flywheel off. And there we go. That's the flywheel removed. Pretty rusty if you ask me. Dual mass flywheel garbage. All this slack in it. Here's the rear main seal. There's a whole bunch of dry Loctite in the holes. No big deal. Here's the metal cover that get removed for now, I guess. Okay. The rear main seal looks in decent condition. I don't see any leakage. I don't know, maybe I'll be replacing it. We'll see. Alright guys, so next thing I'm going to do is drain the oil before I drop the oil pan. So I jacked the motor up. And just because I don't trust this Harbor Freight motor hoist, I made a safety by putting the strap over my beam in my garage and attaching it to the chain holding up the engine. So that's just an extra safety precaution. So now I'm gonna get on to draining the oil, and just my luck, the oil drain plug is stripped, so I'm screwed. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it loose. If not, I'm gonna have to find another way to drain this oil and remove that and eventually replace it, but I don't know, I'll see what I can do. Alright, so guys, luckily I was able to force in Torx into this, what should be an Allen key bolt, and I hammered it in and I got it loose. It wasn't too tight, so luckily we got that done. I'm gonna just replace the drain plug eventually, but right now I'm gonna drain the oil and we'll see how it looks like, and then after that we're gonna loosen all the oil pan bolts and try to drop the oil pan. Okay, there it goes. I'm gonna take the top cap off of the engine, and so it flows faster. The oil doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's been replaced not too long ago. But yeah, let's take off the top cap and see what happens. Okay, there we go. So I took the top off so the air can travel through. Alright, so pretty much it's almost drained out. I'm just gonna let it fully drain out, and while I'm at it, I might as well remove the oil filter because there's probably oil in there too. So I'll do that right now. To remove the oil filter, all you need is a 13mm. Okay, so here's the oil filter, the cap removed, and the long bolt that holds it all in place. And this is what it looks like inside. There's a lot of oil in there, I guess, because the engine is tilted to the left, because it's not too even on this hoist. But I guess I would have to lift it up a little bit, tilt it to the right to drain it all out. No big deal. I'm gonna be changing the oil anyway, so it's still draining out slowly. I'm just gonna let it drain out for a little bit longer, then I'm gonna get to dropping the oil pan. Alright, so before I start loosening the oil pan bolts, I have to first remove a bunch of things from the oil pan, like the dipstick, these connectors that are attached. I have to remove this thing that goes for the, I believe for the PCV system, this hose. I have to remove on this side. There's this stainless steel line going to the bottom of the oil pan, and also there's a part of the bracket for the AC compressor, I believe, no, power steering pump. I have to remove that bolt because that goes into the oil pan. So I'm gonna remove all of those things and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, so I realized that it would be much easier if I just removed the power steering pump, because there's some bolts that are down there that are going to be hard to get to. So to make it an easier job, I'll remove the power steering pump right now. So that is just held on by a few bolts. I mean, I don't know, there's two up here, one that I removed from the oil pan. Obviously these hoses, this hose is attached to this thing. I'm gonna have to remove that. I might as well, I'll remove everything all at once. And yeah, I'm gonna first remove that before I get to removing the oil pan. Okay, so here's the power steering pump with the reservoir removed. It was basically just two long bolts going into here, which are these two. I just put them back for now just so I don't lose them. Then there was this bracket with this bolt that went into this to hold these hoses in place. Third bolt, that hole right there, was for another bolt right here that was mounted to the oil pan. So I just put this bolt back into the oil pan so I don't lose it for now. And yeah, now there's much more space to access these bolts right here. So all I gotta do still is loosen up and remove the dipstick, which is just held on by one bolt right there, and then one in the intake manifold right here. So those two. And then I have to also still remove this braided, this stainless steel braided line from the oil pan, which I can remove. Let's see, I will just remove it from, I guess, from the oil pan if I can. If not, I'll remove the whole thing. We'll see how it goes. Okay guys, so everything that I mentioned is removed now. We have access everywhere. Nothing's connected to the oil pan, and I'm ready to start loosening the oil pan bolts and dropping the oil pan. So let's see, all of these bolts are, looks like size 10. So there's a shitload of them. There's like, I don't know, like 20-30 bolts. So I'm gonna get to doing that and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, so all the oil pan bolts are removed. The oil pan is still hanging in there, but probably with like the gasket sealant. And here's the rundown of the bolts. So there's 25 in total. There's two long ones. Basically these long ones go over here on the side of where the clutch goes. The long ones go one down here from the bottom into this hole, and the other long one goes on this right here into this hole. Then I kind of screwed up because I didn't realize that there's three that are slightly longer than these. So I'm gonna have to figure out where those go, but I don't know where those go. And there's 20 of these. They're all the same length, the shortest ones. So 20, 2 really long ones, and 3 slightly longer than the other 20. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to pry off the oil pan by just using a flathead and then putting it down, taking it down. Alright, so this is a mess. I just banged it off and it came right off. A shitload of oils falling from everywhere, but I'll clean that up. It's all good. Oh shit. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, oil pan's dropped. Oil's going everywhere. And there are the rod bearing bolts, which is the whole purpose of dropping this. I'm gonna figure out which ones are used here, so I know specifically which ones I got, so I can order new bolts and rod bearings. I'll also remove the rod bearings and check the condition of them, see how bad they are. And anyway, I'm gonna be replacing them because I'm already here, might as well. But yeah, that's that. Looks all good. I mean, the oil's still dripping. I'm gonna get to removing probably the oil pump now. We'll see what happens. Okay guys, so basically what I just did was I sprayed a shitload of brake parts cleaner through here and cleaned up the bottom of this crankcase as much as I can. As you can see, I got rid of most of the oil. So now I'm gonna try to remove these pipes going to the pump, or I'll remove it all together. But yeah, first thing I think I have to do to remove the pump is remove this sprocket, which I believe is reverse threaded, but I'll let you guys know in a sec. Okay, so if I first remove this pipe by loosening these two 10mm that went in onto the brackets. And lesson learned, have something prepared because it's gonna spill out a bunch of oil. I was not prepared for this. So yeah, once you loosen those two, that pipe can come right out of this hole, and then basically the rest of the pump is loose. I'm also gonna remove this one so I don't damage it. I believe it's just 2 Allen key bolts, but yeah, be prepared for a major spill. Okay, so I'm gonna confirm that this is reverse threaded, so to loosen it you must rotate to the right, and to tighten it to the left, so it's reverse threaded. Also, I would recommend you, when you're loosening this, you should hold up this tensioner. Hold it up so you don't damage it, as it is a plastic tensioner, and yeah, it's recommended to hold it up when loosening. So I loosen this and by turning to the right, since it's reverse threaded. You should replace this nut every time you remove it, I believe. So once you loosen that, you can just pull off the sprocket and you can remove it from the chain for now. Also, really be careful not to damage this plastic tensioner. Okay, so it's removed. That's what it looks like. This is what it looks like it's removed. And now I can get to loosening the Allen key bolts. I believe it's only 1, 2, 3 Allen key bolts to remove the entire pump. So I'm gonna get to that now. Okay, so there it is. The oil pump is removed with all the pipes. All it was 3 Allen bolts, which are right here. One of them was slightly stripped, so I mean it looks like someone has touched them, so maybe the rod bearings have been replaced. But to finish off this video, I'm gonna just remove one of the rod bearing caps so I can see what the bearings look like. And I already know, since these are, I believe, the M10 Torx. This car uses these specific 2003 and above, so This car's year, this engine's year was 2003, I believe. So it uses the newer design bolts. So these bolts also require a different torque spec than the pre-2003. So what I'm gonna do now is remove one cap and remove one rod bearing, and then that's gonna conclude this video. I'm gonna clean up the rest of this, and in the next video I'm gonna have all the new rod bearings ready, prepared. I'm gonna buy them, and then I'm gonna be showing you guys how to replace the rod bearings in this engine. Okay, so now I'm just gonna remove, I think this one. I'm gonna remove these two Torx bolts, and I'm gonna remove this rod bearing cap. Okay, guys, so here this is what it looks like with one of the rod caps removed. If you look at it really closely, right there, it's broken. It's not a cut, so it has to go back on the same way, so it fits the grooves perfectly. So basically, I'm gonna replace these rod bearings anyway, since I already removed one. And yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna show you guys specifically how to torque them down. This is gonna be for the post 2003 method, so I'll show you guys how to do that. I'm gonna push up this rod. I'm gonna remove the other bearing, see what it looks like. Here are the rod bearings from one cylinder removed. So this is the cap. This is the bearing that was from the bottom, which sat in this cap. And this is the bearing from the top part. So my theory is that the person who replaced these rod bearings didn't know that they have to replace the top one. They probably didn't know that it's removable, or that there is one there, and they probably just replaced this one. Because as you can see, this one has no signs of wear, while this one has a lot of, like, a big white spot in the middle. So I believe that the person who replaced this only replaced this this bearing. I may be wrong. Maybe the top one is the one that gets worn more than the bottom, but that's what it looks like to me. So basically, I'm gonna conclude this video, guys. I'm gonna order all the parts I need to replace these rod bearings, and then I'll make a full detailed video on that to help you guys out. But that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more videos. I'm gonna do my best to show you guys everything I can with this S54 swap. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Peace.